Welcome back. It's your local fandom enthusiast, and today we're talking about my favorite theory on Stranger Things. And I know I said I wouldn't talk about Stranger Things anymore, but this is genuinely very interesting and very creative. Like, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing right now. I feel like I'm being part of fandom history, which is a big thing for me, okay? I've been in many fandoms. And when something so big happens that enters fandom history, that is crazy. I'm talking about Conformity Gate. I've heard other names that have like a similar theory. I don't know all the details because I am not so informed. I seen it being called or like being associated with something called Playgate, which I think is the theory that everything was just a D&D game. Conformity Gate, on the other hand, is the theory that everyone conformed to like their society standards in the finale, in the epilogue, because they're being controlled by Vecna. And now I don't know if there are people that think like everyone is being controlled. Some people think Mike is being controlled. I am not sure. What I've heard the most is that all of Hawkins is under Vecna's control, and we're seeing everything from Mike's perspective. And there are a couple of proof that I'm gonna discuss. I want to say that I personally do not believe it's true. I think it's a very interesting theory, and I think like people that believe it are not like delusional or like crazier stuff. Like it would make sense, but I just do not believe that the Duffers are so smart, honestly, because maybe I see a theory on this conformity gate stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense, that would be smart. And right after that I see an interview with the Duffers and they're like, why there weren't any demi what any demogorgons or demodogs or bats or whatever. We didn't really think about it. We didn't want to add them in, I guess. I think they're being so vague, and some people are like, "Oh, maybe they're being vague on purpose." No, I just think the writing is so ass that they don't even know what they did. Like, I think I already made a video on the finale, but I think the finale feels like a first draft that has never been reread. So yeah. In the time between the last video on Stranger Things and this one, another thing came up, which is it doesn't really enter the conformity gate thing, but I think it's worth mentioning because I don't see many people making the connection. But if we're gonna act like this theory is true, I want to say my personal like take or opinion on something that may play a part in it. It's been confirmed by the Duffers. I'm gonna put the article or whatever here somewhere. They've done so many interviews. I don't know if I can find the exact article, but I'm gonna put the screenshot here or whatever. But again, it's been confirmed that Elle never spoke to Mike in like before the epilogue, before she sacrificed herself. So Mike made that up, or at least like that wasn't real. The whole conversation and the kiss while Purple Rain played, it was not real in the way that Mike and Elle did not communicate in that time. So, in my opinion, if we're talking about like this theory, I think that could play a part. Like it could be like Vecna made him see that. I don't know why that would be, but if we're gonna believe this, and this is the only thing that has been confirmed by the Duffer, the fact that, and it's a weird thing, okay, it's a weird thing to confirm in my opinion, because why they say like, oh, it's up to interpretation whether you believe that Elle survived or Elle died, you decide. But they confirm this specific detail for some reason, and I'm like, why? Like, it's just a bit weird. I don't know. But again, I'm gonna go through the proof I found on my telephone, on Twitter, of course, because that's my source of information. I saved a bunch of posts, so I'm gonna go through them, read them, whatever. Like, we're gonna inspect stuff, okay? So this is what I was saying, that people are like, oh, the answers are so random, it have to mean something. And this is what I was saying about dogs and demogorgons, etc., not being in the abyss. And the Duffer said mainly just that Vecna was not expecting this sneak attack on his home turf. Never in a million years could he even imagine that they're there somewhere, like the demodogs and demogorgons, etc. And many people, like this user here, it's like, notice how they don't make sense. Like, it sounds like they're being dumb on purpose. I just think they're dumb again, but let's again, from now on, I'm gonna assume that everything I read is true. So I'm gonna act like this theory is true in my heart. Again, I don't believe in it, but for the video's sake, I'm just gonna act like I do. So, and honestly, last thing I will say is that I don't believe in it, but I think it would be the greatest twist ever if something like this happened, like a semi-ARG thingy. Like, it would be fucking great, okay? It would make movies, like show history. It would be amazing, but I don't think they're so smart. But again, let's pretend that everything is true right now. This one from this user, I'm putting all the videos that I'm taking on my phone here, so I'm giving credit to the people that are pointing this out, because none of these are my theory. This one is from season 4, where Eddie makes the whole campaign where Vecna gets mentioned the first time, and it's the hooded cultist chant, "Hail Lord Vecna," and there's the play that plays while Max, Kali, and Jane are on stage. So the orange robes, I think it's either the orange robes that I'm gonna talk about later, or the pose of the hands that everyone has, the Henry hand pose, this thing. But also, orange is not the color of the school uniforms for Hawkins. In Nancy's novel, I think it's mentioned that the color of the robes, whatever they're called, it's green. Orange is not the color, but it was, or like it's hinted at that it's the color of Henry's time, the uniform color, etc. Then there's these other things still from the same campaign in season 4, which is, you recognize most of them from Makbar. Vecna's dead, he was killed by Cass. So it was thought, my friend, but Vecna leaves. So again, like, it could be foreshadowing that Vecna is not dead. Like, they think he died, killed by 11, but he's still alive. I would like to believe this because I said I did not like the final battle. Like, it was super short, 10 minutes, and just like that. Okay. I also saved this post with, mark my word, January 7, 2026, the Conformity Gate will be truth. There has been a couple of dates going around. I've seen January 7, January 6, and even January 5th. Yeah. So we have 3 days. But yeah, the one I've seen the most is 6 and 7. 5th I've seen like once, I think, and I don't remember what the connotation was. I don't remember exactly, but okay, we have a sort of date, so let's wait, guys. This next one, okay, this one is interesting because the the Squawk, okay, the Squawk, which is a radio station that existed until like yesterday, stopped transmissioning yesterday, and there were a couple of weird things in the last episode, in the last transmission, and I think it's just sort of an Easter egg. It's still interesting.
So when WSQK disappears, don't be afraid of the quiet. Sit with it. Listen to it. It knows you better than you think. The clock is counting down to 11 on New Year's Day here on WSQK.
Our time is up, Vince. Hawkins, it's time to go.
Hawkins, it's been a privilege to keep you company for what feels like a lifetime, but then in some ways only feels like 6 weeks.
This thing about the 6 weeks, people made the connection that here Vance said it feels like it's been 6 weeks. The squawk started November 24. 6 weeks from now, 24 is January 5th. So, that's another thing. And I've seen people say that in the statics at the end they hear either mic run or something like that. Not sure if it's this one, but I know people heard from the static in one of the episodes of the squawk. I wouldn't call it episodes, I don't know how to call it, but like they hear in the static mic run or wake up. I've seen both. Most people say it's mic run, but wake up would also make sense. This one, I don't know where it's from. Okay, from Netflix UK. A post that I don't know. I didn't look it up. It says, it's day, whatever this number is, of thinking about Stranger Things 5. And this person made like a calculation, which would be like the numbers equals 40 and 4 plus 0, 4. So 4 days until the finale, which would be, again, the sixth in this case, because it's been posted 2 hours ago from my time right now. So it would be this would be 7th, actually. Yeah, this would be 7th because it's January 3rd right now. I'm so confused. Okay. These I've seen. I haven't seen a proper thing like saying it where the Duffer said, "Oh yeah, the Truman Show was an inspiration." But I've been seeing people pointed out that the Truman Show is an inspiration for Stranger Things. So this person is sure it will pay off, which would make sense because the Truman Show is all about fake realities. It would be cool. Okay, yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I haven't seen the Duffers anywhere actually say that the Truman Show was an inspiration. I don't know. I also don't really follow the Duffers because I don't like them, but that's okay. Lots of people that say that something feels missing. And now I want to open a little parenthesis on this because while I was watching the epilogue, I kept having this eerie feeling, and I was like, something is gonna happen, something is gonna show up. Like, something feels off, okay? But I'm also very paranoid, and I already didn't like the finale, so maybe I was just like hoping for something else to happen. But I agree with people that feel that something was off in the finale. Like, it made you feel on edge in a way. At least that was how I was feeling. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I know it's not just me because other people felt this. So, the False Hydra theory is very interesting. So I'm going to read this. So this user says, the False Hydra is a monster in D&D known to mix up memories, make you forget things with its mean song. Do you all see the shit? And they call the big bad a Tessalhydra in the first season, but the monster also makes you forget it is there. Mind song, yeah, directly relates to music, the fitting Vecna, and Will being the mind of the group. And when you cut off its head, it grows two back. Joyce cut off Vecna's head, it's a nightmare for DMs, and Mike, DM, is left with the most tragic ending. There are also, there are some people that believe that Conformity case is true, and it will, there will be another episode or something. And there are people that think Conformity Gate is true, and that's the end. Like, we're left with, the knowledge that everything is fake. So, yeah, that would be pretty sad. So, yeah, anyway, this False Hydra thing, it is kind of interesting. I don't know the lore of D&D precisely. I haven't played too much D&D yet, but it's interesting because we already know that they took inspiration from the actual lore of D&D to inspire part of the lore of Stranger Things and stuff. So who knows? This is kind of a longer thing, I think, because in the end, Elle says that Mike can't write the ending because life is not one of his campaign, and then he writes the ending at the end of his campaign. So, people are a bit weirded out about that. This user that I think I follow, I'm not sure, said Elle was wrong. This is only one of Mike's campaign. The inconsistencies, the meta-narrative, everything, guys. It's been staring us in the face this entire time. This ARG is in our world and the world of Stranger Things, and Conformity Gate proves it. Will you join the fight? And played D&D for 14 years. I think the god Taristan is at play here. And if he is, well, shit, about to get very insane and a bit meta. Do you think you could write up an analysis? So here's the analysis. Taristan, I switched the language. Taristan, I think is how you pronounce it, is the chain god who created the abyss. He wants to destroy everything. He is known as fuck, is unknown as fuck, because he's so old and evil that his followers rarely know they're following him at all. God rank 11, holy number 333, holy symbol dark spiral fractal. Taristan is the god of eternal darkness, cold, so solid number is 333. Oh my god. Intermediate god, dark spiral. The spiral also has been shown in the finale, like in the epilogue, a bunch of times. So here's our bunch of things. The spiral has also been shown on Elle's dress design in season 3. Yes, I think it's, season 3. That, and on Mac's skateboard in the epilogue. Episode 3 is often within the show, but most noteworthy is the 3 years that we know someone went to missing, specifically a child. 1923, Kitty Hawkins, 1953, Henry, and Will, 1983. All the years end in 3, it was 3 kids with 30 years between each. 33. I hate the number 3, I can't pronounce it. Lots of 3s in season 5. Taristan is trapped within a demiplane due to his schemes of destruction. He is the god of decay and cold and all bad. When in prison, it was believed his avatar, someone who can be possessed by a god born for them, were all destroyed. However, this wasn't the case. One avatar remained, and this now connects into Vecna's lore, so stick with me. Vecna is referred to as the Maimed Lord here, but the next sentence named the Chain God. This is the moniker that's first and foremost owned by Taristan. He is the most chain god to exist. Merit's story is exactly like Terry Ives. Her memories are destroyed and her life is ruined due to schemes surrounding her child's birth. I think they're using her chain god line to connect their lore, and here's why. 11 is the avatar of Taristan. Taristan is the 11th god. 11 is the 11th test subject. The lore between Merit and Terry Ives. Her mole experience in season 3. The song material girl play, and in D&D the place the Taristan avatar is and he is barred from is the material plane. She chooses her, this is what I was talking about, by the way. She chooses her own clothes for the first time, and all her patterns are chaotic and all over the place. Chaos is Taristan's domain, but the romper is what I was saying here. Like I can see the connotation. This is a pretty long thing, by the way, so just stick with me. Nancy and her homework chemistry fractionation is what she's studying. This is a separation process in which a certain quantity of something is divided, often fractal distillation. This is what a fractal is. It's a pattern of repeating spirals, Taristan's symbol. They said we'd have to rewatch the entire series, but jokes on their asses, I'm a loser, forever DM, who reads full modules door for fun. So yeah, this user went pretty in depth with this Taristan theory. I really like it, honestly. It's very interesting. I don't know if the Duffers could pull this off, but it's very interesting. Like all the connections, all the numbers, like it's a very odd coincidence. Okay, this one, as an artist myself, this one is one of the most interesting things because they changed the Hellfire logo, and that's pretty weird. So here's an explanation. I'm gonna go through the differences again. The Hellfire, the original one is this one, and the one that Dustin has on his shirt in the epilogue is this one. And we can see a bunch of stuff is different. First of all, there are like two dices in the first, and in the second there are three. This one shows the number 11, this one the number 5, and this one is just kind of gibberish. While this one, just numbers, no precise number, and this one at best is an 8. At best, like, it is an 8, I would say. The sword is upside down and has no flames. And the shield behind the head is not there in the original design. And this user went ahead and said both dice turned in D20s, the sword is flipped upside down and lost its flame, which represents Mike. The devil is over and added a shield, so it's where the heart would be. Will's painting. 11 and 5 on the dice. Now this one that I was pointing out, 11 and 5. This one, I don't know how to feel about it, because it's one of the interviews with Finn. And the question is, how would you describe where Mike ends at the end of this season? Was his journey satisfying for you? I was definitely pleased with it. And it was something bigger than I feel... No, sorry, what? And it was something that I feel was bigger than I could have imagined. I couldn't have imagined how big that moment felt reading the final thing, and it ended in the best way it could have. When it comes to my character, reading that for the first time was definitely a super emotional experience. And this user is pointing out that Mike ends his journey miserable and traumatized unless Finn has lost his mind. It's conformity gate. So, on one hand, Finn wouldn't be able to be like, no, I fucking hated the finale. I hated where my character was. I would rather jump out of a window than see that thing again. But, this one is a bit weird, and I don't know, but
Mike, get off me! Get off!
The soldier calling Mike by name. And again, if it was just a mistake, they could have reshot the scene and be like, random guy over there, random person, why are you calling him by name? This one is one of the books in a shot that I'm not sure when exactly it is. I know it's in the basement, and it says The Empty Copper, and the book is about false endings. This is about Erica, she's dressed up a lot, which is weird for her character. So again, she's also a conformed version of herself. This one is hard for me because I don't really understand when people are being sarcastic. If I don't know them, if I know them, I know when they're being sarcastic, but I don't know when random people are being sarcastic. So I'm just gonna play this, and I don't know, you can decide if they're being sarcastic.
So you haven't shot multiple endings?
Oh, no. We didn't. I mean, we wouldn't have. I love when I hear people do that, but I'm like, how do you have the time? Oh my God. The energy to write it and then shoot it. Are you crazy? No.
So, are they being sarcastic? I don't know. Here, the mic wake up or mic run. People here, either one. The squawk is like the main thing that is holding this theory together, because they're leaving all these subliminal messages. Pretty ominous, if you ask me. They've been weird because now the radio has ended, so no more squawk. This one I think has been debunked. The fact that Hero plays at the end of season 5, and it also played when they found the fake body in the lake that was supposed to be Will. And I think it's been debunked because I don't remember who from the cast asked the song to be put there, so it probably means nothing. That would have been like a good twist if that was it, because the music is has always been shown to be important in the show, so it would have been pretty cool. But it's probably someone from the cast that has asked to put the song there. We have another thread that I'm gonna read in full or mostly. So here we have this user's theory, I guess. Why did everyone end up being a conformed version of themselves? They didn't even confirm if Vecna was dead or not, and Melville's never being addressed. All the plot holes and unanswered questions. This was a fake-out ending, let me explain. Now, the Melville's I also mentioned in me talking about the finale, where like Will, in his coming out, mentioned this thing with the milkshake, and Melville's was not a milkshake, I don't know, place when he was alive. It was when Henry was, so it was pretty weird. Also getting lost in the woods, all that stuff. I already mentioned about like a bunch of inconsistencies or like discrepancies in my rant on the finale. I think Vecna got into everyone's mind. I just need to point out that the scene from the epilogue where everyone is posed like Henry, this has to be intentional. It is pretty weird, but like, I don't know. The way they're holding their hands specifically, like everyone is holding their hands like this. No one is crossing their hand. No one is like just resting their hand on their arm on their knees. It is pretty weird that everyone is holding their hand the same exact way. And of course, like they're pointing out that Harry also had this hand holding like this. And Billy, when he was possessed. Joyce's play happening on the same day Will went missing, November 6th, and the fact that Joyce, Hopper, and Harry all went to the same school together was never addressed either. This one was addressed by the Duffer after everything in an interview, and they were like, yeah, probably Joyce and Hopper talked about it. At one point, they probably realized, they probably knew. And I'm like, you wrote the show, my guy. If you don't know, if you're not sure, how can I be sure of anything? So the way that Will and Henry's character are so connected to the point they even share the same birthday too, what's the reason for that? This being in Hopper's cabin during the epilogue, Vecna got into everyone's mind, and that's why everyone became a conformed version of themselves. This ending was such a figure, and which is a game. I don't know what it is about. And the doorknob is literally flipped in this scene, comparing it to the season 1 versus the finale. It's on the left in season 1 and then on the right here in the season finale. Mike couldn't even tell Elle he loved her in his last few moments with her, saying there's a story he can never tell, or at least not the real story. Then the episode ends with a blue and yellow basement, 2 colors associated with Mike and Will. And then the credits roll and they play Heroes, a song associated with Mike and Will throughout the series. And Will asking these questions to Robin to date and how obvious, then suddenly his feelings are just crush. The scene on the radio tower where Mike says best friends, and a few moments later he looks at Will while he's not looking. What if Vecna got into Mike's head too? The scene where Max says comforted happiness, could you be more tried? I thought you were some kind of master storyteller, has to be intentional. The scene in the credits took JK95. There has to be a reason for this. I've seen people use this to make out like a date for, and this one. Some other people said it's probably like a sign from, not a sign, sorry, like the artist like putting their name somewhere or something like that. Again, the play Heroes, when Mike thinks he lost Will in season 1, and then the spiral on the skateboard that I already talked about. Mike is the only one that is looking at the camera. I can't really tell, like I can tell, for example, Lucas is not looking, and they're kind of all looking up or like to the side, and Mike is looking at us, I guess. The hairstyle, and this is from fucking I can't remember the fucking name. Yes, if you know, you know. I can't fucking remember the name of the movie, Jesus Christ. And like he drinks and smokes like his father, Will, and he canonically does not like smokers or smoke, and he doesn't drink. So the blank yellow poster in the ceremony, weird. This is one of those things that is so dumb that it looks intentional, because why was it blank? why they couldn't write anything on it, like literally anything. Or if you haven't, like if you didn't think about writing something, just don't put a poster right there. It's so weird. The 1106, but November 6th is the day Will went missing. November 6th is the day of Joy's play. Henry badge number was 1106. This one is interesting. I think it's a weird coincidence. Okay, many things that I've been looking into for this theory are very weird as coincidences. Like, how do you put so many coincidences in there? So the total time for all the episodes for season 5 is 10 hours and 20 minutes. In season 1, Mike asks his mom to play D&D for just 20 more minutes and says, how was I supposed to know it was gonna take 10 hours? More hints, more little Easter eggs, I would say. This is a bit weird because if any of you watched my video on the finale, I was kind of pissed that the inconsistencies didn't mean anything. And this is even weirder now because the pizza box is the same from season 1. So they put so much effort into that thing, but something that was like a first shot like this, they managed to fuck it up somehow. And it's not even a prop. It's not like, oh, it's just a t-shirt or like a bracelet, something that is small. It's not a prop. It's part of the set. They had to change it. How do you change it? It's even weird, especially considering that, again, this pizza box is the same that is in the season 1 campaign and like the first scene of season 1. It's the same pizza box. This video is kind of long, the squawk finale thingy. So, stick around or skip 1 minute and 40 seconds if you don't care about it.
Vance, friends don't lie, and I won't either. This really is the end of WSQK.
Hawkins, we both wanted to say a few final words before WSQK powers down. Why don't you go first, Mindy Flair? I need a second to just get it together. Now's not the time, chicken.
Well, Hawkins, I want to start by thanking you. Yes, you. Tuned in right now, listening to WSQK The Squawk. Whether you've been cranking the songs up in your parents' basement, blasting them loud on your boombox while riding your bikes around town, or just singing along to all the hits in your car, Hawkins, it's been a blast. Oh, and you're not listening alone. You never were. Every voice, every song, every moment on this frequency traveled outward, spreading, connecting, becoming something larger. We really took over this town, didn't we? The studio is just where WSQK started from. Tonight, WSQK comes to a close. And for one last time, I've been your queen at the controls, Mindy Flair. And Hawkins, you never know. I might just be back one day. Oh, Vance, make sure you close the gate on the way out of the radio station, huh? You are so bad, always leaving it open.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mindy, that was absolutely perfect. It was almost like you took the words right out of my mouth and my brain. But Hawkins, what a curiosity voyage we've been on together. In a moment, WSQK will fall silent. But Hawkins, that doesn't mean it's gone, just that it's somewhere else now. Some advice for you, Hawkins, before we go our separate ways. Keep chasing those dreams. Live life to the full, because every breath you take is precious. So be wild. Go running up those hills. When your friend asks you to go out and you're thinking, should I stay? Should I go? Just go. Because your life is a never-ending story of adventure. But when your world goes a bit upside down, just know that your friends will be there to pick you back up. And they will be there time after time. You see, Hawkins, time doesn't stop when the squawk ends. Every song you heard is still there. Every moment you stayed when you could have turned away, still there. So when WSQK disappears, don't be afraid of the quiet. Sit with it. Listen to it. It knows you better than you think. The clock is counting down to 11 on New Year's Day, here on WSQK.
Our time is up, Vince. Hawkins, it's time to go.
Hawkins, it's been a privilege to keep you company for what feels like a lifetime, but then in some ways only feels like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you're right, Vince. It really doesn't feel that long at all, does it?
This is Vance Goodman.
And I'm Mindy Flair.
Signing off on WSQK, The Squawk. Goodbye, Hawkins.
So, of course, there are a lot of things. Some I already mentioned. So, there are a lot of things. One thing that I will say, and I'm not gonna put too much theorizing into this specifically because there are lots of things to say, and I'm sure like if you want to look into it, you can. If you don't want to, it's just like a quirky little thing. But the way everything is phrased in this finale, in this goodbye, it does sound like when Robin was talking to the squad by giving them messages. And of course the name, Mindy Flair and Vance, the thing about the closing the gate all the way, the fact that they took over the city, being Mindy Flair, the Mind Flayer, and Vance being Vecna. There are lots of other things, all the hints to the songs, Should I Stay or Should I Go, Running Up to the Hill, being, there are more like the never-ending story. They mentioned another one that it was, I don't remember, but it was in the soundtrack, in the original soundtrack. That, and specifically Should I Stay or Should I Go and Running Up That Hill are Will and Max's favorite songs that could hint to like getting free from Vecna's control. That could be something. That the clock that I already pointed out in the other video, and the statics. There, like the squawk is the biggest proof of this whole theory because they've been very cryptic about everything. This is pretty weird, I will admit. The scene where Hopper and Joyce dance in the epilogue, they have these outfits, and then in this scene we see Joyce with a different outfit, but it's the same set. It's still the restaurant. So, what's with that? You know, what's up with that? So there is so much more to this theory. I haven't even talked about all of it. I remember I saw a post where someone said, they mentioned that the script for the last episode was printed on red paper, but the script that we saw for like pictures of the cast reading the last episode script is printed in white. So what's up with that too? There are lots of things, lots of theories, and whether you believe it or not, you have to admit that this is a big thing, okay? The fact that so many people came together and sort of came to the same conclusion, pointing out proof of something, because I haven't talked about too much really, but there are multiple people that came to the same conclusion without really knowing each other. Like they found the same hints without connecting with each other specifically. So it's very interesting that so many people are watching this and being like, this has to mean something. And sadly, I just believe the Duffers are bad writers, and they left lots of plot holes everywhere, and they left so many questions unanswered. There's so many plot holes that people are just like, it can't be true. Like it can't be a real finale. And maybe they are announcing something in like 6 days or like on the 6th or 7th of January. But I think it's just gonna be like, or either a spin-off or some merch drop, maybe. Like it's not gonna be the 9th episode of Stranger Things, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I can admit that, okay? I can. But for now, I just think this is a very cool theory, and it's one of those moments that will go down in fandom history, honestly. At least that's what I think. It's fun. It's fun reading all these theories and seeing people talk about it and pointing out things. It's very cool. In my last video, seeing people being kind of mean, and I just want to say you can have a different opinion from mine. Like, this is not really an opinion, it's more like explaining stuff that I saw, but you can have a different opinion from mine. But please be respectful, because I'm doing this for fun. I'm talking about something that I'm interested in, and you know, no one is paying me. Try to not be assholes. You know, that should be pretty easy, but I guess it's not that easy if you have the brain power of, like, I don't know, a sock. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video and if you have any theories or anything, like, comment, subscribe, like. I'm almost at 80 subscribers at time of recording. That's pretty exciting for me. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you think of this theory, and if you believe in it, no shame. You know, I don't believe in it, but if you do, please tell me and, like, give me proof, whatever you want. I'm very interested in this. So with that said, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye!